You okay? You nampak lain ni. Nak I tunggu?
Prebet Sabu is a 2021 film from director Muzammar Rahman, wondering what it would look like if Taxi Driver took place in modern KL. This film depicts the life of a ride-sharing driver named Aman as he moves from his town Bahan to KL, and he even partners up with a Chinese Malaysian girl to survive in their everyday life.
Prebet Sabu is probably the most accurate depiction of KL life. It's loosely based on his story and his father's stories. He made sure that the film doesn't cost too much as a feature film. After 10 days of shooting, the production ran out of budget gathered from family and friends, and that's how the director himself went out to work as a Grab driver. And with that experience, he have a different perspective to make the film more true to life.
I've been Grab driver for research. Then after I shooting, I've been Grab driver to find enough money to shooting on the match. So I work quite every day. So somehow it's not enough. But during my experience being a Grab driver, I earn some portion of the money to shooting, and also I earn many experience.
This film was made by Malaysians for Malaysians. The dialogue is truly something that would come out of everyday life, to the point where it made some of our Malaysian friends of ours get secondhand embarrassment, and even calling the dialogue cringy. However, they all agreed that the film is a true depiction of life in modern Malaysia, and they truly enjoyed the story.
It is an eye-opener as a few of the events and happenings that still happen despite the uniting message that the government has been pushing to the public. The key element of this movie, the usage of black and white. In Malaysia, one of the ways to distinguish race is through the skin color. However, eliminating color, making us concentrate more towards the stories of Aman and Bella, this breaks the boundaries set by races and enables us to focus more on the struggles of these characters in the city rather than racial tensions. The black and white tone also matches the setting of Aman being a colorblind driver as well.
So actually during post-production, there are many discussion about the color. Sometimes we think, it's a good if the film in colors, because many film in color, and some point we thinking of some scene will be black and white, and some scene will be color. And also there are time we thinking we release in two versions. People go, some cinema will watch this Prebet Sabu in color, and some cinema will be screened in black and white. So after all, we thinking back after a while, because at the first point when we are making, when we shooting, we already know that we want this film in black and white. So all the discussion, just discussion sajalah. So we didn't take it seriously because we really seriously want to make this film in black and white. So if we if we release in color, the film will be quite different. Maybe quite funny because, there are one scene in hospital actually. That time I didn't have much time to go to scout the location at the hospital. So when I go to hospital during the shooting days, I quite surprised because the hospital is in pink color. I quite surprised and a little bit frustrated because why my producer find the location like color, because that scene supposedly being quite a dark set scene, very sad. Then after like 20 or 30 minutes, my producer designer come to me and say, bukan kau nak buat in black and white ke? What thinking too much? Your film is black and white after all. So I think, okay, that's right. Because of that particular scene, that's the biggest reason I don't want this film come in color versions.
Another visual metaphor to present the harmony of multi-races is through the bridge over the Klang River that Aman and Bella walked on. Because of the way how Klang River merges with the Gombak River, emphasizing the director's wish to unite different races.
I want them to talk on the bridge because I see bridge as like connection. So there's a first scene, they try to connect each other. So at the same thing, the river below the bridge is a Klang River. It's like two river become one. That's exactly I choose that location. And I choose almost the ending location during Bella and Aman say about they won again. So whoever won, we still the same. I choose that particular scene to shoot in Dataran Merdeka because somehow it's like significant for me. It's like we think we are merdeka enough, we independent enough, but somehow we are controlling by some of the politicians who didn't really care about us. And that place is like people's spaces.
The conversation may seem rather awkward to the international audiences, The contrast of Bella's somewhat poetic and hopeful worldview to Armin's more down-to-earth and realistic dialogues may seem jarring. However, it further develops the characters in the shorter runtime of the film. Besides, one of the interesting scenes that we want to discuss is when Armin got kicked out of his place and he was sitting in the car. The building seems to be falling on him. From our interpretation, the massive despair of him is presented visually through the world falling apart.
So, the cinematography, while simple and rather streamlined, tells the story beautifully. Especially in the car scenes, the director includes more interior shots rather than exterior, thus making the audience more connected to Aman. The cinematography enables the audience to know exactly what and who to focus on. No movements were too distracting, with the combination of monochrome colors boosts the overall general feel and it makes it beautifully whole.
Despite the film being in black and white, we heard that the production designer did not skim out on work, instead carefully selecting different shades of colors on set in order to create deeper and more complex color profiles on screen.
Edward Chibun, we call him Bun. Also, he worked with many film projects before this. And like Muzamir always told us that black and white is also colors to many variations like grays or white. It's not just simply black and white. I think for the production design, the most gave some suggestions for the production designer to look like films like from Wong Kar-wai's film, how the character dressed. I think from there, the production designer did some homework. I think as you can see from the characters, how you see Mace always used like this necklace.
If I were to say anything negative about the film, I believe that it would just be that the film doesn't seem to have a strong message. It mainly serves the purpose of showing life in modern Malaysia and to represent Malaysianness on a bigger stage, something that the film does extremely well.
Prebet Sabu is probably the best example for younger filmmakers to get inspired by. The director and producers had people they knew to help them shoot the films. The actors were also people who came in on the day to help them out for a few scenes. Number one, for example, his dialogue were mostly improvised. With a budget of less than 300,000 ringgit and the total shoot period of less than 25 days, they managed to make something to be paid as the Malaysian representative at the 94th Academy Awards.